This conference will now be recorded.
Well, there we go. Y'all thought we were in a meeting. We're actually in conference today. That sounds fancy, doesn't it? Good to see everybody. Looks like joining us for the first time, Billy Gilly. How are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing great. What you look like you're in the middle of a project there.
I am. We're redoing our office, so I've got the drill and stuff out. My wife thinks that Labor Day is for laboring,
Yeah.
so we decided that we were going to redo the office. So I painted and built furniture all day.
Okay, good for you. Yes. Yeah, I had that same feeling myself on Labor Day. At the end of the day, I'm like, wasn't this supposed to be a day of rest from labor? But
I thought
anyway,
so too, but I was wrong.
yeah. Well, good for you. Robin, how are you doing this morning? I see you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you loud and
What?
clear.
Okay, I'm doing good. Frustrated, but good.
Okay, tell us. Well, why don't you kick things off? Tell us what's going on that's frustrating.
Just, listings that aren't getting any showings, doing
Yes.
open houses, everything. I'm about ready to tell them to wait till next year.
Yeah, that would be okay if our bills would wait till next year. Um, but
Exactly.
but Robin, you're feeling like every other real estate agent in town right now.
I know.
Listings that have been discounted and would have sold in 10 minutes last spring are just languishing.
Yeah.
I'm averaging about one showing per week on my listings. And in my
I'm not even getting that.
well, I have noticed over the years, unless it's just a super hot property, it takes about 10 showings to generate an offer. Anybody have any similar experience like that? Um, so what that means is in a market where you're getting one showing a week, you're looking at a 10-week cycle before you even get an offer. And if you're not getting one a week, then you're really in for the long haul. So I think part of our challenge right now is setting expectations for our sellers because unless they're just going to give it away, and very few sellers are in that mindset when they go on the market, they want to get top dollar, but you're going to have to set their expectation that we're in it, until we sell it, and that can take a while. And what will help you with that is if you'll go to har.com and pull down their weekly market reports, it shows you week by week in comparison with a year ago where the inventory levels are, days on market level are, and average sale price. And just one moment. I have a client here, and we know how valuable they are. Um, Let me tell her what to do when she gets to the gate. Put
Yeah, to Frank's point, we were just updating our newsletter yesterday. So I'm a numbers guy. So I was digging in the numbers a little bit, and it looks like we've gone from like 4.2 to 5.9 months inventory in the greater Houston area. That
Yeah,
really surprised me.
yeah. So the way I'm pitching that in my social media posts is it's a great time to buy. Interest rates have adjusted downward a bit. Prices have adjusted down significantly, and buyers are in control because there's no hope on the horizon in the short term. We're entering into the fourth quarter, the slowest quarter of the year. Even with a little moderation in interest rates, it's not going to be enough to move the needle. And so we're probably looking until mid-January or February before we see a noticeable market pickup. And so sellers are just going to have to settle in and be patient. I would
I'm
encourage you
sorry.
though, continue to be hosting open houses. I held one last week for an hour and a half because I wouldn't want to sit there for 2 or 3 hours by myself. So I scheduled it for an hour and a half, and I had 10 people through, and I have 4 appointments today, 2 listings and 2 buyer appointments today coming out of that open house. I mean, it's just so that's not normal. It's not normal for me. It's not normal for anybody, but that's what happened last Saturday. So stay in the game. Don't hunker down thinking, well, there's nobody out there. There are people out there. There are buyers. There are sellers, and we've got to keep that bait in the water if we're going to get our share.
What did
Okay.
you say? You said
Yeah, Bob.
HAR. What was it? HAR. What did you get your?
So just go to, I think they call it the media department, and they have all kinds of reports in there. They have the weekly snapshot. They'll do the month-on-month reports. Just pull them all up and see which one tells the story most effectively.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
you can even, they're all shareable, so you can post them on your social media accounts as well.
Good.
All right. Who else has got something going on that you want some input on, or you want to celebrate, or you want to vent?
Frank,
Daniel, you look like you got something to say. What's on your mind? Yeah, Danielle, that was you I called out. Oh,
You're talking about me?
Yes, yes. Dan, tell us what's going on.
Nothing. I'm just trying to set everything up on my account. Still trying to go through the classes. So I attended one class yesterday and trying to get the rest done by next week.
So are you going through the HAR classes on the MLS and Matrix and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, those are fun classes. Those are fun days. When you get stuck or have questions, make sure you're here every Friday, because we've got a great forum of experienced agents who can help you through that stuff.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
She's a hustler too.
Oh,
I don't know
Bob.
about a hustler. I'm just trying to get everything set up so I can get out there.
Well, good for you. All right, Cheryl, you got your hand up. What's going on?
question, do you have someone that can stage? I'm kind of at my ends wit with this house, and I thought they've partially moved out, and I thought maybe if I staged the front room or something to make it more inviting.
Yeah. So I will tell you, I have never hired a stager.
Okay.
I got really close a few months ago on my sister's house because it just languished. But
Yeah.
the fees, it was about $4,000.
What?
Yeah. And we decided to put that money into new countertops. And,
Yeah.
and literally, we finished the new countertops. I'd taken the home off the market for about 5 days while they replaced the countertops. They got them done about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had a showing within an hour and a contract, and we closed it last Friday.
Okay.
So that was a good call to put the money into a permanent change as opposed to a temporary. But what I would do, I would just Google stagers in the Woodlands and then call them pricing. Some of them, and they'll all have different packages. It doesn't have to be a $4,000 package. They'll do line staging. Billy?
You can do virtual also for
Yeah.
your
True.
pictures.
Virtual staging's gotten better. What we do, my wife will go in and we'll just, like, she calls it vignette staging. We just have a couple of tubs of like dishes, towels, some flower settings, some different things. And it really, even without furniture, that makes a difference, especially in photos. It just kind of softens it up.
Yes.
And we'll just go to, at home or somewhere, pick up a few items and do that for most of our listings.
Yeah, I've been doing that, so I may just get some fresh flowers and stuff, because I took some hand towels and stuff like that, but I may do some more. Okay, thanks.
So I did exactly what Billy is suggesting last spring on a listing that Bob and I tried for 6 months to sell, finally lost it to somebody else. They took a $40,000 price reduction. I thought, doggone it, if they'd done that with us, we would have sold it in 10 minutes. But do you know what, Bob? I checked this morning. It's still on the market. Oh, yes, still on the market. But what I did, I went to At Home like Billy suggested. I spent $400, which you can do pretty fast. It was 2 cartloads of staging materials, and but some of those were green plants I put in the corners, and a lot of them were bathroom and kitchen countertop decorative items. A little Easter bunny for the front porch, and I have them in bins now, so that it's real easy to, on a vacant listing, to go in and do that vignette staging. It does make a difference. Warms it up quite a bit. Okay. Bob, you got something else going on you want to put on the table?
New listing that I am very not excited about because it's way overpriced.
Yes.
And I do the same. Okay, I will list it. We'll keep an eye on it. After a couple of weeks, we're going to have to kind of get more reasonable with this listing in the comps. It's listed at 890. It's out on FM 1774. It's 5.52 acres, I think it is. It's actually a manufactured home, but it has a lot of permanency to it. I mean, you'd walk through it, you wouldn't really even know that it was a manufactured home. And it's very nice. I mean, it's a 1,800 square feet, whatever, nice property. If you got any of you are old enough to remember Dallas Home and Praise singing group, this is his brother. And they're elderly and just keeping up with that property been kind of difficult. It's kind of narrow and long and deep, but if somebody wants to live out in the country, it's really a great location. So I'm excited about the listing. Just think that we need to get the price a little more reasonable on it. But that's what I've got.
So you can put up with an overpriced listing at that price level because ultimately the sellers might get reasonable and you're going to have a nice payday, or someone will make an offer at 700 and you'll work out a deal. But I terminated a listing this morning. It was only $23,000. I haven't even informed the seller yet, but doggone it, I got tired of it because it's a vacant lot. It's 25 foot wide. I don't even know how you would build on it. I sent him a text message last week. I said, hey, I think I'm going to approach the next door neighbor because he may find value in this lot when no one else can, because it's so unbuildable. It's unusable. Maybe he can use it. He answered me back initially and said, oh, no, I can do that. I can go talk to the neighbor. And then he texted me and said, if you've already done that, you need to apologize. I'm like, what? I mean, the guy's out of his mind. So anyways, I've stewed on that for a few days and I'm like, I'm out of this. I've had enough. It's $23,000. It's worth half that. I'm
You're
done.
the bad guy there, Frank.
I couldn't believe it. Make me apologize for trying to sell his lot to the only person who could really see any value in it. So anyways, so sometimes you got to let them go. And today was that day for me. So I'll be calling them a little bit later to say, hey, go find somebody else. Okay. Who else has got something going on that we can all learn from? Good, bad, or otherwise. Star, I saw you. Looks like you're on the jogging track. Did you want to jump in here? Oh, your speakers, we can't hear you.
I say good morning. I'm actually picking up my open house sign from this weekend, and we got an offer on it. First showing, and they put in an offer, and we under contract.
First showing. You are an overachiever, Star. That's unbelievable.
Woo!
Yeah.
Won't he do? God is amazing.
Well, amen, sister. Yeah, that's great. So see, we need that kind of encouragement that houses are selling, first showing, made a deal. That's terrific. Billy, did I see your hand up?
Yeah, I was going to make a comment. I've got an interesting situation where it's similar. It's a neighbor who's always been interested in the land. It's a barn dominium. It's not as attractive as you would hope it would be. Definitely someone with some unique taste. So she actually got an appraisal done. I was close to it with my market value, but she approached the neighbor at a higher value and may get it, right? Because the value the neighbor sees is not the market value. Because I told her, I said, we're going to have a tough time selling this.
Yes.
To be brutally honest. And I set the expectation correctly. So she took that opportunity to go to the neighbor with a higher value, and they're considering it. So always go to the neighbor.
Billy, may I ask you a question? Good morning, by the way. It's Letha.
Good morning, Letha. Go ahead.
Where is that barn dominium?
It is off of It's in the cut and shoot area.
Oh, and cut and shoot. Okay, it's interesting because I have a very similar situation where I've been talking to a neighbor beside a barn dominium who wants to buy the barn dominium from the neighbor. And I was just wondering if you were on the other side of that with the barn dominium. I was with the neighbor, but the person that I'm talking to is not in cut and shoot. So I was just curious if we were potentially talking to opposite ends of a transaction. All right, thank you.
No problem.
All right, so let me jump in. I'll share something with you that I'm super excited about. Last night, I sat down. It was about 8 o'clock. I was in my lazy boy chair, but I was doing the dreaded deed of inputting a new listing. And I really hate that, doing all the setup in SkySlope and HAR and photos and captions. And I just despise it. I know it's a necessary thing we have to put up with, but I'm sitting there, I'm just starting. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I signed a contract with Michael Hughes. And I called Michael. I said, Michael, I just got a new listing. Do you do that as part of your transaction coordination? He said, of course I do. He's already got my SkySlope login. All I had to do was send him the completed listing documents. I forwarded him the link to the photos, and it will be on the market this morning. And I literally got up and did a happy dance in the middle of the family room. Mary had to see it. Please, she's still in recovery from that. But it just made me so happy that the part of the business that I hate the most, somebody is now doing for me. And so I just share that with you because I'm just over it. Tired of doing that. And I have so many opportunities to interact with people, appointments all day long today. And that's where I want to be spending my time. I need to be pulling comps and doing all kinds of stuff like that to get ready for these appointments. And anyway, so I'm happy.
Can we ask the cost of that?
Yeah, and I'm not even sure. He sent me his price sheet when I signed the contract, and it goes like everywhere from $150 to $525, depending on what he's doing. And I'm just going to have him do everything. So I don't care. I figured worst case scenario, I'm going to pay him $500. Worst case. And if I'm averaging $10,000 a transaction, will I pay 5% to have the worst part of it done? And that's not just the input, that's doing the whole thing. It's uploading all the documents, writing the amendments, submitting for the CDA, all the stuff that I don't like. So so you reach out to him.
Is that paid at closing?
Yes, he is paid at closing. Yeah, and if it doesn't close, he doesn't get paid.
Good.
So,
okay.
Yeah, that's right. So good morning, Alexa. Good to have you on with us.
Thanks.
All right. Anybody else want to jump in here that something's going on, good, bad, or ugly, that we would all benefit from that conversation? Any questions? Go ahead, Alexa.
So like I said to you, I think we spoke about this, that now I'm looking for county properties for my buyers that I represented in my last transaction as a intermediary. The great thing is that I still have some clients that couldn't purchase the land that I was selling, and so they also need some as well. So I'm kind of headed in that direction now.
Okay. All right. Alexa has a way of taking listings that turn into other business. So yeah, good for you. That's awesome. And one of my listings, the one that's generated all this activity that I'm going to be involved with today, is a frustrating listing because I thought it would sell in the first 24 hours. And it's been on the market 3 weeks now, and we haven't even had an offer. But it is generating all this other spin-off business. So it's hard for me to complain about that. People are seeing it and saying, that's not right for me, but don't you have something else in the neighborhood? Like, by golly, I do. Yeah, we're making lemonade out of lemons. Okay, anybody else? Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question, then we'll get in. I'm going to just run through the 1 to 4 contract, answer any questions you have. I'm not going to do a line by line tutorial on that, but I just want to make sure that we understand what goes where. But I do want to ask you, what are your plans for generating some real estate sales this weekend? What are you doing proactively to make stuff happen? Stir something up.
Open houses.
Okay, Star, how many are you doing and what time are you doing them?
So I do an open house every Saturday from 12 to 4. So that's like me doing 2 open houses, just in one day in one location. And that's been working for me. I like to have my Sundays off.
Yes, good for you. Yeah, okay, wonderful. Thank you, Star. She's doing 1 4-hour open house. God bless you. Billy, what's up?
So I've got 2 open houses. I have a house in Seabrook. We're going to do, it's quite a trip, but it's a good client. So we're going to do that one on Saturday. I believe we got that one scheduled from 1 to 3. And then Sunday, we're doing one after church in Panorama, the remodel that I did. And today I'm going to be reverse prospecting on those houses. So I'm going to pick probably the top 10 to 15 reverse prospects, give them a call, see if there's any interest, and try to invite them to the open house.
Okay, so for the rest of us who haven't done reverse prospecting, tell us quickly how that works.
If you haven't done that, when you have a listing in HAR, I also paid for a Homes.com premium membership. That helps too. That one does retarget, so that's good. But in HAR, you can go in and you basically see a list of everyone who's looked at the listing, agents who've looked at the listing. What I do then is call those agents who have a reasonable number of views. Like, let's say they've sent their client 20 homes. Well, that's someone who's very reasonable. They're not just watching the area, right? So you'll probably have a list of over 50 or 100 sometimes if that listing's been going a while. But call those agents. Sometimes that sparks up a conversation. It gets a showing. We did close one last year off reverse prospecting where they said, hey, they actually had some questions that I was able to answer on the call that got the showing, that got the contract. Excellent. So there was just some information they needed to know. But you're talking to another agent, so it's so much easier. Be ready to explain the property. A lot of those are not concierge. I only do concierge. A lot of people just do auto. So they'll have to tell them what property it is, explain a little bit to them briefly, and then see if they have any real interest.
Okay, that sounds great. Now, is reverse prospecting a platinum product?
I don't think so.
Are you a platinum agent?
Frank. I don't know. Is it a platinum product?
I see. Yeah. Robin and Cheryl are nodding their heads. So
gotcha.
You're going to have to pay $130 a year or something like that. It's
not a big upgrade.
Yeah.
For just that alone, I mean, that's basically you're paying for leads right there.
Yes. Yeah, you sure are. And the way I look at this, and I'm not doing reverse prospecting, and I'm not a platinum agent. I'm super cheap right now. I'm not even spending $130 on it. But if I was, here's how I would get that money back. I get the value immediately is when I go in on a listing appointment and I go through my marketing plan, reverse prospecting would be on there. And I would make a point of saying, I pay additional fees to the local realtor association to have access to this powerful tool so that I can reach out to any agent who sees and shares your property. That's pretty powerful, right? So Billy, I don't want to go up against you in a listing appointment now, okay? Because now you're armed and deadly.
Well, and I'll tell you, I'll support that, Frank. The last, and we did, we're negotiating a win, our first big win with the Builder Connect thing. We're finalizing a 3 listing deal in Montgomery. So that's going to be good if we close on that. But the thing I've learned this year specifically, I'm a numbers guy. I like to have a plan. So when I go in, I have a plan. I don't have the biggest personality like an Adam Olson or someone like that who's just very dynamic. But I go in and say, here's my plan. Matter of fact, I use ChatGPT several times to refine it. And reverse prospecting is always on there. And
Yes.
we've won several listings this year because they said, you know what? You came in out of 6 or 8 people and you had a plan. No
That's
one
right.
else has a plan. They just have a lot of adjectives.
Yep.
So have
Yep.
a plan.
That's right. Yeah, you should always have a plan. And I guarantee that I have a plan because it is on my personal brochure. I put my marketing plan on the back of it. So it goes in with me automatically on every listing conversation. But if you're a platinum member, you definitely want to take those additional products and services that you're paying for and add them into your marketing plan. And that will be a differentiator for you from other agents. Now, let me share something else with you because I'm going to answer the question I asked you. What am I doing to generate additional business this weekend? I ran a core property boost on this 3-week-old listing that hasn't sold yet. And I spent $65 because that's like a 6 or 7 day program, $65, real money, and generated about 12 leads. Now, the first one I called who answered the phone hung up on me. It hurt my little feelings. No, it didn't hurt my feelings. I know that's part of the game, but I haven't had time to even follow up on those leads. And so today I'm going to be taking time to do that. And if I don't get through all of them all today, at my open house tomorrow, if I have any time between people coming in, then I'm going to be making those calls. But I'm telling you, I told you last weekend I had 10 people come in. The 2 weeks before, which was the previous open house, I'd had 25 people come in. So there are people out there circulating through open houses that have great curb appeal and are in attractive neighborhoods. So don't stop your open houses. Alexa? Oh,
I
yeah,
also wanted to say that I decided to venture out into other brokerages to do some open houses.
yes.
And the one that I did in Baytown, I think it was around May. He actually has been calling me back for leads that he has because they are Spanish speaking and he can't speak the language, so he doesn't mind paying a referral fee. And so now he's generating leads for me. So that's great.
Alexa, I'm so glad you brought that up because my Baytown listing is back on the market.
Oh, good.
Our original closing date was May 16th, and we kept extending to August 22nd. They still don't have final loan approval. It's on the market. It's on the water. It is priced at $525. Everything around it is $1 million listings.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
if you are interested in that, let me know. It's
Yeah.
422 South Burnett in Baytown, and we'll get you set up for some open houses.
Okay, great. And if anybody needs anything on this end of town, just let me know. I know that Billy said something about Seabrook, and I know it's a hike. I live in Dickinson. So if you guys need any help, let me know. And if you need to, get some help with some Spanish speaking leads, let me know as well.
So Alexa, you cover that area?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you're my new friend.
Yes.
Okay.
I get it.
I'll be in
Traffic.
touch. Thank you.
Alexa has been a lifesaver for me. If I just need a key dropped off or somebody, a contractor let in to one of my East Side listings, she does that. And I try to show my appreciation with some compensation for her. But my goodness, to save me 2 hours and half a tank of gas, happy
Yeah, and college football just started, so I have a conflict now.
built in.
I get it. Well, wherever I can help. Thank you.
So my point of my last comment was Core Property Boost works, and it is inexpensive. My average cost per lead, was about $5 or $6. So consider that. If you've got some listings and you want to stir up some activity, that's the way to go. And we used to access Core Property Boost through KV Core. Now EXP has offered us a choice of multiple different CRM platforms. I went with Bold Trail, which I'm convinced is just KV Core rebranded because it has all the same tools in it, including Core Property Boost. So, and it lets your seller know when I've got a stale listing, I try to make a weekly call to tell them what I'm doing to stir up business for them this week. Because what they think is happening is that you're checked out. You're going to college football games, you're playing golf, you're catching sharks, you're out there living the dream and forgetting about their home. So you need to be telling them every week something new that you're doing to attract interest to it. And Core Property Boost is such an easy one to generate real leads. All right, I'm going to see if I can log into my HAR account here real quick and pull up a 1 to 4 family. And we're going to run through that here lightning fast, but I just want to make sure there is nothing that is stumping you when it comes to that form. There
Frank, while you're looking at that, can I say something real quick on what you just stated?
Oh, yes, please do.
Remember that property that it took me a while to sell because they were overpriced as well? I heard you guys talking about that earlier. But the fact that they didn't hear from me every week or every month, because I really didn't know I had to communicate that much, but I guess I did. I mean, they weren't paying me to do this. I was putting out money. So I was thinking other ways. But now I realize that when it's that high end too amount of money, they're always on, the lookout. And I think they were even scoping my social media to see if I was doing something, to generate. I was in shock. I was like, okay, I'm learning now. So thanks for sharing that.
So by the way, that's one thing you can do. If you're doing a weekly update of this is what I'm doing this week, and you don't want to spend any money, then at least post the listing on your own social media accounts. That's one thing that you probably ought to have about a list of 20 things that you can do to attract attention to your listing, and then just do a new one every week to keep that seller engaged with you and keep them happy. All right, let me see if I can share this screen. Are you guys seeing the 1 to 4 there?
Yes.
I love it when it works. Okay, so let's just roll through this. Paragraph 1 seems so obvious. The party to the contract are buyer and seller. You're representing the buyer. If you're writing this contract, how do you know who the seller is?
Realist text. I'm sorry, you guys.
Realist or the appraisal district website. You want to put in the name that's on title, and typically the most reliable source for that is going to be the appraisal district, and Realist is pulling from that information. Okay, paragraph 2, the property. The description there is very straightforward, but I would encourage you to remember that improvements are included in the sale. They are considered part of the property. Those improvements are ceiling fans, mirrors, cleaning equipment, shrubs. They can't take that, that favorite tree out of the backyard unless they accept it from the sale. Accessories are included in the sale, the swimming pool equipment, the mailbox keys, all of those things. If they're keeping anything that's listed above, they need to put it here in paragraph D as an exclusion from the sale. Sale price is very straightforward. If there are leases, they must be disclosed. And that's not just a tenant in the house, but also fixture leases for solar panels or water softeners or anything like that. Let's see here. Termination option, failure to deliver earnest money. That's all pretty straightforward. I do want to, once again, let's look at paragraph 6A. Down at the bottom 8, 6A8, amending the title policy. I'm still getting questions about this, even though it's been in play now for, almost 10 years. What that means is if you check that box, the title policy is going to have a 10% premium tacked onto the cost. So an $1,800 title policy becomes, $1,980. Almost $2,000. And what you get for that is the removal of all these other exceptions listed in line 8 there, the standard printed exception. All those exceptions are reduced to just one: shortages in area. In my opinion, that is a waste of money. And I never allow my client to be responsible for it. So if the buyers, let's say you're on the listing side and the buyer's asking for that, then I insist that the buyer pay for it. Because if it's in a subdivision, those surveys and fences have been in place a long time, and it's just very, very rare that there's going to be an issue. And if there is an issue with shortages in area, guess what? It's still not covered. It's the only exception that remains. So I just
Right.
don't think it's worth it. Yes, sir.
What about rural properties?
So that would be different. Rural properties, I would be more okay with it because they tend to be not as exact as in a subdivision, where you've got multiple builders and contractors and developers looking at those surveys and boundary lines. So yes, on a rural property, I think that's a more reasonable selection. But remember, all it's going to provide coverage for that's not there already is discrepancies, conflicts, encroachments, protrusions, and overlapping improvements. If you think those issues are going to enter in on that property, then it would be worth it. Okay? But shortages in area is never, ever covered. It's always an exception. Okay, I'm just scrolling through. If you see something on the page that you want to talk about, just holler, but I'm gonna get through some of this boilerplate.
Frank,
Yes, go ahead.
question. What is shortages of area? Can you clarify that?
Yes, I'd be happy to. If you have two surveyors measure a piece of property, even with today's GPS technology, there's going to be a discrepancy. One is going to say that the lot size is 25,000 square feet. The other one is going to say it's 24,800. There's always going to be a difference. Just because they can't be exact. They're measuring from a different point, even by a few inches will make a difference. Those shortages, one to the other, are never covered by the title policy. So, for example, when you list a property, you have to put the lot size and the source of the lot size, and typically you're saying that the source is the appraisal district, and it auto-fills into your listing. If the buyer closes on the property, has a survey measurement, and it's less than what was published in the MLS, that could lead to a lawsuit. This doesn't prevent the lawsuit. What it says is the title company is not going to defend that lawsuit. There's no title insurance, there's no coverage for shortages in area. So the seller is always vulnerable to a lawsuit on that issue. Now, in a subdivision, I've never, ever heard of a lawsuit because the difference was 2 square feet. But if you're talking a 200-acre property and the difference is 2 acres, now that could be significant enough to lead to a lawsuit. So that's what shortages in area means, the discrepancy between two different survey measurements. Does that make sense? I'm going to take that as a yes.
So you typically go with 6A, 8I, the first choice, right?
Let me get back here to it. 6A, 8I is correct. Will not be amended or deleted. That's correct. Except if it was a rural acreage property. In that case, I'm more open to the idea because there tends to be, again, shortages in areas not covered, but discrepancies, conflicts, encroachments, protrusions, overlapping improvements, those will be covered with the additional coverage. And on a rural property, you're more likely to have conflicts. more likely to have discrepancies. And it's not the shortage in area that's covered, but maybe it's where the line goes. What is the boundary line? Because they might have been using the old oak tree or the well that's no longer there in the original measurements. And then now we do a GPS and there's a discrepancy about where that boundary line is. Boundary lines are covered if you get the additional coverage. Okay? All right, let's scroll on down here. Here's one that's often missed, 612 required notices, because this was a change within the last year or so. But this is where you list required notices, like the MUD or the PID or the drainage district, anything like that. You mention it right here, as opposed to, I think, paragraph 20, which we'll get to in a few minutes, where you list everything else. Property condition, that's pretty straightforward. This is an as-is contract unless the buyer knows in advance that they're going to require certain repairs, and then it would be, they would check box 2 here and then list those repairs. Like if there's a broken window and you know it's broken, you know the buyer's going to require it be fixed, then don't just say we're going to ask for it in the option period. If you know it in advance, we'll help you get it down in advance. All right, I hear.
It's Letha.
Yes, Letha.
I have a question on the previous thing you covered with PID and the MUD and all that.
Yes.
With the statutory taxing districts, when we had the HAR 404, one of the statutory taxing districts that we had to do a 404 for was like the Harris County Flood Control District, because
Yes.
it is a statutory taxing authority. I'm confused every time on, do we still disclose that? Where do we disclose it? It's not a municipal utility district. It's not a PID, and and the 404 is gone.
Yeah, so you're going to list it right here because it's a taxing entity that has to do with water, flood, drainage issues, and you will go to their website to get the actual notice. They're required to provide a statutory notice, and we don't. That's why it's no longer provided to us. There's no promulgated
For the
form
flood
for it.
control district, I have
Correct.
not been able to find anything for the Harris County Flood Control District.
So that is covered as a required notice. So I would just simply call them and ask where they have hidden that notice on their website.
Okay.
Okay. And,
Okay.
and if for some reason they're not providing a notice, then you need to mention it. Special provisions would be a perfect place to do that, where you could say, and you're simply disclosing that there's a taxing entity that has authority over this property. That's the whole point of the notice. And so you're going to find
Right.
them.
I list them. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. It sounds like it's good stuff that you're going to say. Go ahead.
I list them in that, it may be where you're talking about, or it may be further down in the listing agreement. I list them in the listing agreement where it asks about statutory taxing authorities. I list them there, but I don't have anything on the flood control district to a notice to the purchaser type
Yes.
thing.
So in that case, that's why I'm saying you could list that in special provisions and simply would say
Okay.
that the property is subject to the authority of the Harris County Flood District, which is subject to the taxing authority of the Harris County Flood District. That's an appropriate way to do it. We have typically in the past put those notices in paragraph 22, which is on your screen now, and we would check the box other and list MUD notice, for example, or PID notice. But if you go back and you read the header to paragraph 22, it says this contract contains the entire agreement of the parties and cannot be changed except by their written agreement. So now it lists those written agreements, addenda which are part of this contract are. And so everything that's listed below is an addendum. The MUD notice.
Right, but But the notice is not an addendum, it's a notice.
That's
It's
right.
not,
And that's
okay.
why we have a separate paragraph now to list those notices, because it's inappropriate to put them in paragraph 22. Okay?
That's because I know that because I go to Michael Hughes's classes.
Yes. Yeah, you're going to be smart. That's like sleeping in a Holiday Inn for the night when you go to one of his classes.
True enough, true enough. Okay, thank you for explaining that. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And I think on that, we're probably going to wrap this discussion unless somebody else has a specific question that you want to ask. Again, we skimmed the highlights. I think we educated a little bit, but this is not a Michael Hughes class today. We're just trying to learn ourselves something. Okay. Anybody want the last word? Everybody good?
May I?
Yes, Letha, you got it.
It's Letha again. I know this isn't church or anything, but I was wondering if I could ask my Abbey family for prayer for my husband. He's in the hospital. And we could use some prayer.
Okay. All right, Letha. Well, you'll get that prayers. I can promise you he will be in my prayers today. He's not on the radio now, or is he broadcasting from the hospital bed?
No, sir. He's been off for 2 weeks now.
Okay.
He's struggling with pneumonia, and he's not going home today. I don't know. I'm hopeful he'll be home one day next week, and hopefully back on the air next week as well. But right now, it's not looking real hopeful that he'll be home next week. But God's still in the prayer answering business, so.
Well, let's do this. Let me just lead us in a prayer for Bill right now. Okay?
Perfect.
All right. So,
thank you.
Heavenly Father, at Letha's request, we lift up her dear husband, Bill, to you. At the end of this hospital journey with pneumonia, we pray, God, that you would heal his body, that you would give him strength, that he would go out of there strong, that he would be back to his normal duties, serving all of us on the radio. God, he's a great man. Letha loves him. The whole community loves him. And we just pray that your favor and blessing and healing will touch his body. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Frank.
Amen.
Thank you, Frank.
Amen. We'll
Thank you so
continue to
much,
pray for you.
everybody. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
Okay.
everybody.
Well, that was a great final word. God bless everybody. Call me if I can help. If I don't answer, call Bob or Cheryl, Billy or Robin or Danielle or Letha. We got a big
What?
I will.
I don't have Bob's number. Bob, can I get your number?
Yeah, Bob, what's your phone number?
And I put my number on the chat also if anybody needs it.
All right, thank you, Alexa.
You want me to just give it to you or
Yeah,
chat?
shout it out there, Bob.
Shout it out.
832
724
724
9864.
9864.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Everybody have a great weekend. Call me if
I
you need
have
me.
one question before you go.
Oh,
When I
Daniel,
get
I'm here,
started,
Danielle. Go ahead.
when I get everything done, I want to know what the process I have to do to get started on the open houses. What do I need to do? Or can anybody
Well-
assist me with that?
We can all assist you, yes. So, yeah, Cheryl, go ahead.
I'm more than glad to help.
Okay.
Yes, Cheryl's the open house queen. In fact, I shared your name and phone number with one of our other agents this week who was looking for some help out in Bender's
Was it
Lane.
Velvet?
It was Velvet. It sure
Yeah,
was.
her and I are in contact. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, that's awesome. All right,
What's
Danielle.
your number, Cheryl?
Cheryl
Pardon?
Peck. Let me
What's
tell
your
you,
number?
Danielle, how you can find any agent's phone number in
Okay.
HAR. I use this trick all the time. I go to Mr. Google and I'll
Mhm.
type in Cheryl Peck, HAR, and it will bring up her profile. And right there on the profile, it says show phone number. You click that and her phone number's there. Now, Cheryl,
Okay.
I'm not opposed to you giving your phone number now. Why don't you do that? But I just want everybody to know that's how
Sure.
easy it is to get an agent's phone number. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Okay. Yeah, the phone number is 346-551-8626, because I'm always getting calls for someone to do an open house. So I'll be more than glad to help you.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna give you a
All right.
call. All right.
Those
Okay.
551, you said?
Yeah, it's 346-551-8626.
Okay. Thanks.
All right.
Cheryl.
Okay.
Thanks.
That's where
All
the
right,
rich
thank you.
people live, Danielle. So you host those open houses. Those are 7-figure homes. So
I'm
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
Right.
okay,
right.
y'all have a great
Thanks.
weekend.
Bless
All right.
everyone. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Have a blessed weekend.